1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
All right, let's get Zencastr going, everybody. Hey, before I hit play on Zencastr, can everybody check their settings? Just to be sure, because there was an issue with another recording.
With who? Because mine just says default, which should be correct.
Okay.
Focus rate, default, save. Yeah, I'm good to go, man.
All right, then. Let's kick it off.
Who was wrong? You can out somebody.
Oh, it wasn't this podcast. It was another podcast.
Oh.
So you had to be on the last
forgot
week's
you
show.
got.
Yeah.
I forgot you got so many podcasts going on.
Me too. I do have many podcasts and many more coming down the pipe. All right, let's do it. It's Thursday night. You know what that means. Episode 283 of PHPUgly is about to kick off. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is John Congdon.
283. What happened to 282?
And Tom Right Up.
Touchdown!
That made no sense at all. Let's see if we can get to that. Let's explore that conversation. What is touchdown?
He doesn't know sports ball.
Yeah, isn't that when the ball goes in the net?
Oh God!
You yell
Don't
touchdown.
even start talking. Don't even talk. I thought you were leading into something.
I was talking about football.
We are so far.
Oh, so you know touchdown goes with football?
Yeah, where the ball goes in the net.
I can't.
The guy runs across the field yelling touchdown and slides on his knees.
I'm having a good time in our Discord. Everybody likes talking baseball. We had some basketball conversations going on. So you all can't bring me down. I'm good.
I guarantee I could bring you down.
We're not trying to.
That's
Hey,
my expertise.
I'm going to a Padres game soon. I'm excited about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to paraglide in?
Oh, that would be awesome, but no. No. For Little League Day, I'm hoping my kid gets to run around the bases after the game. That'd be fun. Eric, I'll let you know what day it is. I just don't know what day it is yet. I want to say May 8th. Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
Oh,
that is a very special day in the Johnson household. Is Mother's Day really on May 8th this year?
Yes.
I know it happens to be so often.
Yes, it is. Whew. Okay. Glad we've got that morning
day.
up early.
Anniversary. No, it's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Your
That is
birthday.
correct.
Yeah.
May 8th.
Your birthday's on Mother's Day? What are you going to get your wife?
Well, not every year is on Mother's Day, but like every
just-
2 or 3 years.
This just ruined this year. It's not what I said. That's not what I didn't mean to say that.
I think yeah.
So you should treat yourself to a baseball game down in San Diego.
Since my kid wants to be so chatty in Discord today because they're anything else but listening to my podcast is apparently, nothing else is happening in their life right now but listening to my podcast. And if you want to participate in the chatty, you can join us at discord.phpugly.com. But we have, I don't know if it's worth sharing on the podcast, but I'm going to share it anyways because they've been in our Discord enough where enough people might know them. But I'm getting rid of a child. A child is moving out.
I mean,
it sounds so wrong when you say it that way.
Yeah, but he told me after the show last week, and it was the most excited I've been in months.
Why would you be excited?
You've been?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because there's hope.
Just the prospect that it can happen was like it was just so nice to hear.
Oh, I'm still like 20 years away from that. So
yeah, you are not.
Very
you are
quickly,
10
though.
years away from that.
It happens so much faster than you think. But yeah, it's time. It's time for little birdie.
But you've been telling me that for like 5 years now.
It's time.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yep. So
man.
So they signed a lease for a studio in San Francisco.
That's nuts. I mean,
what kind of music are they producing?
Snake jazz. Why would they be producing?
You said they were leasing a studio. I thought they were making music.
Oh, I forget. You live a privileged life where you didn't ever have to rough it in a studio apartment, but us Johnsons, it's a rite of passage where we live in a studio apartment for a year or two. That's if you have it good.
In San Francisco, you're gonna live in a studio. I mean, come on.
Oh man, and knowing how much they're paying for the studio is just
heartbreaking.
Man, yeah.
You are correct. I have lived a privileged life.
Yeah,
I've been in an apartment, but not a studio apartment.
When the wife and I first moved to San Diego, we lived in a studio apartment in Escondido.
I don't think Florida has many studio apartments.
Well,
But I also, when I went to college, gathered all my roommates that were in the dorms, and 6 of us moved into a 3-bedroom apartment just to make it cheap enough. So it was kind of like a studio in that sense.
That sounds like a gay brothel.
It was a gay brothel without any of the gay and any of the brothel part.
Sure, but 6 college guys moving into a 3-bedroom together. Sounds like there's like a reception desk at the front.
You guys are seeing each other's dogs. I mean, come on.
Actually, never did. Come to think of it. Interestingly enough.
He couldn't afford all those cameras back then.
All right, let's talk PHP.
Oh my God. Wow, you got something on the board?
I have absolutely nothing.
Oh no, it's just me with all the tickets.
You have all the tickets, but I am excited to be back on the show.
Dude, what is the deal with Trello?
Hence my 282 not being here. I'm trying to make a joke about that, and nobody picked up on it.
Oh, we weren't sure how much you want to talk about it. Yeah. Why were you not here on episode 282, John?
I didn't want to be. No, I was in New York. Took a little trip. Saw family I haven't seen in over 20 years, which was fantastic. Kind of a little celebration of life for my dad. / seeing family, and my kids had a blast. One, they got to meet a lot of my family. They got to meet their great grandmother, who's 95 years old. And the event was held at a firehouse, of which my uncle is the chief. So he let the kids go out and play around the fire trucks, and then pulled the ladder truck out and then turned the ladder off to the side, and everyone got to climb up onto the ladder, and then he would raise and lower it and just
blast them with the hose.
Loved it. It was so much fun.
Is this proper like New York City, New York?
No. This is upstate Syracuse, New York.
Okay, so none of the like giant building stuff.
No. And then the second half was spring break vacation. So the first part was for my dad. The second part was family. We went down to Long Island, so we did drive through the city and spent time with some friends there. Went into the city one day, and oh my gosh, California legalized marijuana, which I have no problem with. We've have it recorded where after it was legalized, I'm on the show high as a kite one day. But
you existed on the show. You weren't really on it.
That's true. I was on camera for a while. But I guess it's not legalized, but it's decriminalized in New York. But you walk up and down the streets, and there's just people with just joints just laying out on the street where they're just peddling it, and all you smell is marijuana all the way down the street. It was crazy.
That's how it was when I went to Vancouver. When Beck and I went up to Vancouver, it was before they legalized marijuana, but it was so decriminalized. And I think they legalized it like the next year, so it was it was going to happen. I mean, there were already pot stores on like every corner, but yeah, kind of the same thing. Like everywhere you went smelled like pot. Like every public park you went into smelled like pot. There were people smoking everywhere.
I just don't understand how they do it. Like, again, they're just sitting outside storefronts with cases of joints sitting on the ground. I don't understand how like people don't just run by, grab a bunch, and keep running.
Guns mostly.
Probably.
That's mostly
good
what
point.
It is.
Good point.
Those drug dealers are sort of known for their zero tolerance policies. Which is
Good
weird
point.
for a drug dealer. But
But anyway, we had a good time. Got just to get away. Kids got to hang with some their friends they haven't seen in a few years.
Got some fresh local kush.
Same with us. Yeah.
Are we going to talk PHP or?
I hope so. Let's get into it.
We're still doing the our week thing. How was your week, Eric?
My week, man, I can't even remember. So I don't think I've shared this on the show last week, but I'll share it. I guess I'll share. I shared it with John recently. Since moving to our new place up here in Riverside County, we've had a run of issues with vehicles. Starting with one vehicle didn't even make the move. Like one vehicle, we have 5 people living in the house now where we're at, which is one of the reasons why we needed a bigger place. We had 5 vehicles before we moved, and right off the bat we lose one vehicle in the move. It just wasn't going to make the trip, and it never left San Diego. So we're down to 4 vehicles, 5 people. So we do a little shuffling around. Somebody basically takes over my wife's car, which was really old at the time, and starts driving that. And I decide to buy the hybrid. So we're back up to 5 cars, and I'm sort of happy I got my hybrid. I didn't get my full EV car, but got a hybrid, so I'm kind of halfway there and happy with it. So we're back up to 5 cars, and literally like a week or 2 after I bought the hybrid, my wife's old car dies. I mean, it's like it runs out of oil. They don't check the oil. They blow the engine. It's got shards of engine all in it. And I take it to the mechanic, and the mechanic's like, listen, please don't make me work on this. He's like, I will totally fix it for you, but it's going to cost you way more than the car is worth. And I honestly don't feel like doing it. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fair. I'll donate it to charity. So we're back down to 4 cars. And I'm like, this sucks. And we shuffle cars around again. And then I'm like, I'm kind of on edge with the cars because a few of the people in the house here still work down in San Diego. So they're doing like 120-mile round trip every time they go to work. And it's like, this sucks, but whatever. My kid who's moving to San Francisco has their car parked in front of the house. Like in front of our house, the car is parked and our neighbor backs into it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we're down to 3 cars now. And during that time, my truck, I want to say my old truck because I don't drive it anymore because it's being driven by other people, but my truck has an issue. My other kid takes it down to San Diego and calls me up and was like, Dad, there's something wrong with the truck. I'm afraid to try to drive it back home. And I'm like, all right. So I drive down there and pick it up, and I drive it back up to our new house, and I can't go above like 60 miles an hour. And if you haven't driven on the freeways here in Southern California, they move at like 80 to 90 miles an hour. So 60 miles an hour, I might as well be standing still on that road. Yeah. So I finally get it home, and so that goes into the shop for like 3 days. It turns out it was converter. No, I didn't even think about that. No, it wasn't a catalytic converter. It was issues with the spark plug, which I knew that was going to be the problem because I had that problem with my old Expedition. I'm like, hey, you got to check these spark plugs because I know that's a problem with Expeditions. So for like 2 or 3 days, we had 5 people in this house, and we're down to 2 cars. So at least we're back up to 3 cars because, got that fixed and got it back. And then the issue with the car that got hit by my neighbor, we've been trying to go through their insurance, not get my insurance involved, just go directly through their insurance to get everything taken care of. It is now Thursday, so it's been over a week since the incident happened. Their insurance adjuster has completely stopped taking my calls. I called my insurance. I'm like,
That's
hey,
reasonable.
This happened a week ago. I've gotten no feedback. I don't know what the plan is to get this repaired. They haven't called me. They won't take my calls. Within an hour, my insurance had my car picked up. And then an hour later, the body people called and said, hey, just looking for approval to work on your car. I'm like, yep, get to work. Unbelievable. So hopefully get their car back here in a couple of days. It wasn't a huge problem. They were just backing out of their driveway and hit the front fender. Unfortunately, the way they hit it, they buckled it right into the tire. So it's like, I told the insurance guy, he's like, is it drivable? I'm like, you can turn it on, but I don't want my kid driving it because, it's like right on the tire there. And I didn't want, I didn't want anything to go sideways on them. So, but so that's pretty much been my week, just dealing with chaos and then trying to get some code in here and there.
But did you get some code in? That's the question.
Yeah, some things.
I know that we just finished Q1 of 2022, and now we got to pay a bunch of people for book royalties. So it'd be nice to have some income in.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Just make some money.
Yeah.
Is that all we have to do? Oh, I didn't realize we were supposed to make money.
Yeah. The whole.
Okay.
Literally 2 minutes before the show starts, I'm entering the bills into accounting to pay people.
You know,
That's why
you
you're
know,
crying.
If you're a book author of PHP Architect, your money's coming. Don't worry.
If you're not a subscriber to PHP Architect, what's wrong with you? I mean, seriously, why are you not subscribed to PHP Architect? It's
Oh my
just
gosh.
rude at this point.
I'm looking forward to publishing an article in the next issue.
Oh my gosh.
I learned something, and I'm just like, so when you're reading it, look for something about Cloudflare in there. It just kind of blew my mind.
Oh, I haven't read that one yet.
You did. I think you did. You just may not. You
Interesting.
may have just kind of overlooked it.
Okay. All right. So our next magazine has the potential to be a novel. There are so many long articles in this magazine.
It normally runs like 44 to 50 pages. This one's going to be pushing it a little past that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some 2-part series. I think like May and June are just gonna be part 1, part 2.
you break it up like the last Harry Potter movie.
That's right.
That's
exactly.
a good idea.
I'm
What about
working
you,
on
Tom?
I'm working on my article for PHP Architect.
Okay.
You got 4 like kind of
It's an outline.
outline topics. That's an outline?
It's a rough outline.
It's like the first 4 bullet points of something.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's a start.
He already has a grammar error. in it.
Wait.
He's got 4 lines with a grammar error in it already.
It's been a while since I started writing.
Anyone that wants to write for PHP Architect, we don't give authors a hard time usually. It's just Tom. He's
Tom.
So
Oh yeah,
we
we're
love
gonna
Tom. We got to give Tom a hard time.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not normally this much of an ass.
Yeah. Just to me.
I'm looking forward to it.
Long week, went fast. Working on APIs, third-party APIs, and boy, nobody wants to be helpful. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I have a vendor. I got asked a question that was like, why don't we have the annual revenue is showing up wrong in this application for this vendor? And I said, we don't send annual revenue to that vendor. Like, well, how did it get in there wrong? Like, I have no idea, but we don't send it. Like, can we send it? I'm like, no, their API, their lending API does not support that. So
well,
just
you seem to have a lot of issues with APIs. So
it's all I do.
So you can write an article for PHP Architect, writing APIs that you won't hate.
That's already a thing that exists. APIs that don't suck, isn't it?
I know. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that.
I mean, I already wrote that. I'll send it to you after this. How much does it pay?
Not enough to cover plagiarizing fees. So don't do that.
A lot of stuff. A lot of API stuff. It is just rough.
I know it was supposed to be funny.
No one does it. No one does it right. Nobody. And like, you build a whole system for handling requests and responses and all of this data, like standardize everything. And then someone comes along and they're like, yeah, our API is a SOAP interface. Like, why? Why is
SOAP is awesome?
No, SOAP is 2 points of communicate. Like, SOAP is an intermediary language for modifying data when it's being sent between multiple systems. This is just a single post endpoint. Why is it in SOAP? And
because somebody wanted an RPC, and that's what they did.
I got an API a PR that was failing because it was sending a number as a string, which is like this is
architecture.
This is an HTTP call. It's all fucking strings, man. Like, you couldn't parse that one? You couldn't parse 100 to 100? You had to throw a validation exception for it. Anyways,
Cast it.
so tired of APIs, which is what I do for a living. Definitely
Yep.
planning some time off soon. Lots of PHP news this week, though.
Well, let's dive into it because I don't think we have anything good to contribute right now.
I mean, the first big thing is Composer.
What about Composer?
Remote command injection vulnerability.
In
So
Composer itself?
Yeah, about a year ago there was an issue where you could put 2 dashes into your GitHub repo, and when someone pulled it, it would execute that as an argument instead of as part of the repo name. And they've discovered a similar issue that could have been compromised the same way. However, they've scrubbed through Packagist and don't believe that it was taken advantage of. But if you were pointing at private repos through Composer,
So
they
what
can't
was the
be
vulnerability?
sure for you. It was just a bad character management.
So was it dash again, or was it something else?
Give him a second while he reads the article.
It's not this. It's not dash again.
Okay.
But it was
Right.
it was an input manipulation trick.
Input validation has been added to Composer. I'm reading the article now. The attacker can control. In this instance, the dash argument delimiter. It is dash. The issue is similar to the command injection vulnerability from a year ago. An attacker controlling Git or repo. Yeah, it does say in this instance the dash argument delimiter referenced in last year's vulnerability post was not available for separating the branch name from the used command. The attacker can control input, which ends up being interpreted as parameters for the get or the HD command executed by Composer, which leads to the ability to execute other commands. So it is dash again.
I didn't think
That's
it was.
That's how I read it.
Well, I'm not interested in exploiting it, and there's a patch out there, so everyone should update their Composer.
Interesting. All right. Cool. Good to know. Always good to know. Add that to news and noteworthy there, John.
Sir, yes, sir.
I saw one of the worst things I've ever seen created on the Reddit web dev channel.
Okay.
Somebody made a browser plugin or a browser extension that lets you copy code directly from Stack Overflow by clicking the code block. And that has got to be the worst idea I've ever heard.
I don't think it's the worst, but it's not the smartest thing to do.
I mean, I want you to think about what could be worse, like a worse idea programmatically.
I mean, anybody who
isn't that what they're doing it anyway? They're copying.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was taking
What's
it.
What's the difference?
It's like when you tell your kid don't touch the stove, it's hot, they're going to touch the stove. This is like saying go ahead and touch the stove, you'll learn the lesson faster. It just makes you a bad person.
Oh, Thomas.
But people are copying and pasting out of there anyway.
Right, and they'll learn that they shouldn't be doing that, but this is encouraging it, like as an extension
I'm not supposed to do
for
that?
Chrome. Don't encourage this. Fortunately, someone had the
Can I get a Chrome
idea.
extension that also pastes it in a PHP Storm for me?
It's like it's like the gun manufacturers, man. Hey, all we do is make the guns. We're not the ones who shoot people with them. All I do is make the extension. I'm not the one that actually, copies the code into my application.
Fortunately, somebody quickly realized how bad this is and asked, could you add a a comment to the code saying copied using instastack. That way I can set up a script to auto reject any PRs created using this extension. That's correct. That's what you do.
All right, so I have one thing in Trello I want to talk about. We'll take a break from programming for 1 second. Do you remember not too long ago, Jack Dorsey made his first tweet? And if you don't know, Jack Dorsey was one of the founders of Twitter. He made his first tweet available as an NFT.
Oh yeah,
and sold it for like $2.9 million. Okay, this happened recently, like within the last year, it happened. The person who made that purchase for $2.9 million figured it was time. The irons were hot. He was going to strike. They were going to strike, and they resold. They put the NFT on the market for resale. Yeah, the highest bid came in at $280. And only proving the point that NFTs are a scam. The way that I think NFTs have a legitimate use, but the way they're being used currently is just a scam. It's completely a scam.
So because they put it on auction, they had to sell it for that 280. They took a $2.9 million loss.
No, this was a reserved auction and everything had to be communicated. He's saying now that he's just going to hold on to it for sentimental value.
Yeah, that's what you call spending $2.9 million. No, I would have sold it, but it means too much to me. It means like $2.9 million to me.
It really reminds me of that time when I had $2.9 million. This was, boy, real halcyon days those were. There was another. So you linked to Web3 is going great, which is like one of my favorite things right now.
That was the Twitter handle that posted it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a website, web3isgoinggreat.com, and so they're also covering the Beanstalk Farms stablecoin project, which was a move that, like, hey, whoever had a majority stake in this project got to make decisions about what they do. There's a voting thing, so everyone got together and voted on what to do with this token, which I believe was on the Ethereum network. So the token was a contract-based token. So when everyone came to a consensus, then the contract was just executed, and they donated to different charities and stuff like that. And someone was like, "That seems like dumb." So somebody went and got a flash loan, which was just a quick cryptocurrency loan that let them buy the majority stake, 51% of the token, and then they agreed to send themselves the complete value of the token to their personal address, and walked away with $182 million. And awesome. I see articles where people are like, the person took advantage of an exploit in the contract, and I want to be absolutely clear here. That cryptocurrency contract functioned exactly as intended.
Mm-hmm.
They did not hack anything or exploit anything. They saw that if they owned 51% or close enough percentage that they couldn't be outvoted, then they could give themselves the entire bank account of money that belonged to that token. And so they did. Was it a bad faith gesture? Sure. But what they did was entirely allowed by the contract. It's entirely within the rules of the system that was established. It's this cryptocurrency stuff, there's not enough bad actors creating in the cryptocurrency space. There are bad actors waiting for a cryptocurrency to come out, and then they act upon it. But that you hire hackers for a reason. You hire people with mindsets like I have, where I just like, hey, what if I screwed you using your own system? Like, that's what you have to hire, so that person isn't the like altruistic, well-intended person, isn't the one who steals all your money. They're the one who secures it. But it's also just too much money. I mean, it's so much money. There was a phishing attack against somebody's MetaMask account, which got them
What is
650.
MetaMask?
MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet / transport that works as a plugin for your browser. So when this person got the credentials to log in to Chrome as this other person, then the MetaMask credentials came with it from iCloud, and they just dumped the account.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's just happening every day. There's some horrible thing. And Web3 is going great, groups it by how much money was stolen. So as you're scrolling through the website, it'll tell you how much money was lost on the page that's currently visible.
and Web3 was trying to put the web onto the blockchain, right?
Yeah, it was trying to decentralize the whole internet, which, I mean, I could go into how misguided that idea was from the beginning for a while. But yeah, it's the idea created by a bunch of people who didn't have a technical understanding of what it was they were trying to do, or had just enough technical understanding to be dangerous. Have you heard about our sponsor?
Who would that be?
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honeybadger. It's easy to install Honeybadger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honeybadger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Break.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Honeybadger.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
All right. What else we got, PHP?
Have you
I
guys
see you got a bunch
have you
of
watched
stuff.
the new OfferZen video?
No, I didn't. Honestly, the first time I watched it, I'm like, what are these? Like the cutting room floor stuff of the Laravel documentary? Because it was all the
Yes.
same people. And then I
Oh,
realized
yes, I did see that.
I watched like the first like 30 seconds of it. And I'm like, yeah, I already know PHP isn't dead. I don't need to watch this one. Like, why did you watch it? Is
Yeah.
it worth watching?
No.
Ah, okay.
It's
Yeah, I mean, it was the same people from the other video, and it was talking about something that I already knew. So it's like, yeah, duh. I don't need to have this conversation.
Yeah.
What would have been
They're all-
interesting had they talked to like maybe one of the major publications in the PHP community about why PHP isn't dying, but they didn't choose to do that for reasons.
sounds
I'm sure.
complicated.
Because they
difficult.
already had the cameras at the other places where they were talking to these people. it really was them just saying the same things that we all know. It's beginners pick up PHP because it's easy, then they move on to other things, and then when we come back, they're looking at code from years prior when they were terrible developers, and then they think it's because it was the language. It's like, no, it was because you were a terrible developer. We all do that. We all look at our code from the past and say it's horrible, but if you pick it up as a beginner developer of any sort and you try the languages, you come back. That was one of the big ones.
Well, and let's
it's
be
also
clear,
the fact that things have changed in the last 10, 15 years.
PHP had a much narrower scope back in the day.
Yeah.
When I was on PHP 4, we weren't doing a whole lot besides processing form requests. And like
doing
most of the stuff that you worked on that handled transactions or money or stuff like that, they were like, yeah, tell your PHP command to execute this Python script or this CGI bin script to actually process the money. It's like, that was
no,
absolutely really? PHP 4 days. Oh yeah,
no, not in my PHP 4 days. I was actually handling the money.
Yeah,
show me the money. Yeah, I handled forms. I handled everything with PHP 4.
Again, poorly, but we did it.
Right. PHP 4 was object oriented.
Yeah. PHP
terrible
4?
Implementation of it. Yeah.
Not 4, 5.
Yes. No, 4. Yes. PHP 4 was object oriented. Your constructor was named the same as your class. Don't test me on my PHP 4 knowledge.
He's corrected me on this before.
You've worked with it more recently than I have.
Yes, I have.
I would have agreed with you, Tom. I remember object-oriented programming coming in on PHP 5, but John has corrected me on this.
What I did for like 7 years was pages, where you called the page and the page had all the code, and like there was no such thing as solid design for PHP or dry or any of that.
Not only did the page have all the PHP code, but it had all your HTML too.
That's because PHP is a good templating language. We don't use it as templating anymore, but PHP itself is a good templating language.
I mean, we still use Blade and Twig and all that garbage.
We don't need to. You could use PHP for that.
Yeah, Anyways,
you put some hacky syntax into a Blade or Twig template when you could just use PHP within a PHP template. We just don't.
I liked hearing Jay Way at the end of the video basically saying, like, why are you asking this question? This is a stupid thing that's been around forever and no one cares. Like, basically at the edge, sick of it. Like,
who said this?
Jeffrey Way.
Oh, look at you, all personal with the guy Jay Way.
That's what he calls himself on Twitter, isn't it?
Jay Way? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen a tweet from that guy in years.
It's a weird video. Like, doesn't need to exist. And at this point, it kind of sounds like the PHP community protests too much. Like we're in the grave trying to yell, "We're not dead yet. We're not dead." And it's like, that's not the case. Like, we don't need these articles every week. Every week there's some article where that's like, I've rediscovered PHP, or like PHP isn't dead, but it's still not great, or like, hey, vulnerabilities are really easy to find in PHP. I'm like, yeah, if you're running a shared server.
It was the same production company that did the Laravel one, right?
It was the same video as the Laravel one. It was just a question that they had asked everybody during the Laravel interviews.
Right, so they're just putting out more content. They're trying to get more views. So
sure, but I'm sick of every week there's some top voted post in Reddit that's like, PHP isn't dead. Look, I just created a parking meter with PHP. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
I agree.
Pay attention to an upcoming issue of PHP Architects soon, where you can control your lights with PHP.
Oh, maybe that's what we should do for the show. I should follow that article and do something with my little, because I have hue lights and it's related to hue lights. I'm doing that. I'm totally doing that. I should do it live. I should stream that code. I should stream that article. Oh, that should be our free article. And I should stream it. Coding with it.
I'm gonna change my article now. My new article is gonna be about PHP Architect isn't dead.
PHP article isn't a crappy magazine. Yeah. So
that's what it sounds like every time I see these blog posts where somebody is like, oh, I'm gonna take on the masses with this mind-bending take on PHP. Shut up.
I'm too
Your
geared
take on
out in my
PHP is
PHP
no longer
architect
original.
stuff.
It hasn't been original since PHP 7 came out.
There. Got my new
drives me nuts.
New head. All right. Cool. I was too pimped out in my PHP architect stuff. I didn't realize I had the shirt on and the hat on, so switch it up a little bit. Got the new Nationals hat with the what you call it, the cherry blossoms on it. Got the Nationals have the little cherry blossom because that's a DC thing. What's up? What's up?
We talked about last week. We talked about these umpire scorecards.
Yeah, I was impressed that you threw a couple of those in Discord.
Well, I saw one and I was like, "Hey, this is relevant to the stuff we were talking about." And like, I looked at it and it's like, yeah, this umpire has like a 99.99% accuracy. Like, and it showed, impactful missed calls, which is like a cool statistic. And you're like, yeah, they don't all look like that. So you sent me a scorecard, an umpire scorecard. I think you can get these at Twitter at ump scorecards. That was like tragically bad. Like this dude came out of T-ball and then went to the major leagues and started umping. It's like it hurt to because it has these. Well, okay, the one I posted had game impacting missed calls, which was just like maybe a ball or a strike where someone on a low count could have gotten another shot at it. The same section for this other umpire was just renamed because they didn't have space to worst missed calls. They didn't suffer the like impactful missed calls category at all. They just said, you know what? Here's the three worst that he made. This one could have changed the score of the game completely.
This one likely killed a person.
Yeah. This one, yeah. There were suicides after this one. It was terrible. Just, yeah. And
yeah, I bet you there is a Twitter handle. I usually grab them from. There's a Reddit. There's a subreddit for those things. It was just umpire scorecard.
The Twitter handle's on the card itself. It's just at.
Oh, is it?
At ump scorecards.
I can't believe I never noticed that before.
And it's like a per game breakdown of these umpires. And man, we got to replace these guys with AIs quickly.
Where do you see the Twitter handle? I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Right below the umpire name.
Mask. Yeah. I see it now.
Yeah.
All right. I got to make sure I'm following that.
And like the worst thing though is I imagine a similar scorecard exists for me as a programmer on like a per sprint basis.
God, wouldn't that be horrible? Yeah.
Terrified.
That's what your manager is supposed to be doing, is giving you a scorecard.
Well, I've seen a typo.
Here's the number of outages you've caused this quarter.
I've seen a typo in a test where the test was still passing, but the variable was typoed. And I was like, this indicates a larger problem. I'm not asking you to fix the typo. I'm asking you to figure out why the test still passes when it absolutely shouldn't. I'm like, that goes on the
everywhere.
That just goes on the like, impactful deployment mistakes.
But was it an issue where the typo was used everywhere, so it was unnoticed? Or
no,
I've done that before, and that was autocomplete for me. It would just autocomplete my misspelling.
In that case, it makes sense. But you're saying you had a completely typoed variable name, and the tests were still passing.
Yes. Oof. Because the typo was checking for a value to be null. which it was.
So as always.
Make sure there's non-existent value. Or
Yes.
Yeah, that worked. That's great.
Yes,
Not
that's.
check no.
I don't want, like, as much as I like seeing scorecards for umpires, keep it to baseball. Don't call me out directly.
So coder scorecards, programmer scorecards, PHP scorecards. I see us developing something here.
There you go. I'm with you.
That's the exact opposite of what I just fucking said.
And-
Did you
and-
not
and
hear
that-
what I
oh,
said?
oh,
Don't do this.
We have employees.
Wait a minute.
You are.
Wait a minute. We do it like that whole like you have a criminal record. Like we publish everybody's bad score, and then they have to pay to get their name taken off. That's genius.
Yeah, that turned out to be
We're gonna be
incredibly illegal.
Millionaires. Well, there's that. I mean, yeah, it was a little illegal.
My Swiss bank account will be fat, though.
I have
Right.
a question for you guys. Now you'll
Lay
have
it
to
on
tell
us.
me. You'll have to tell me if I'm barking up the wrong tree or not. But I'm going to be working with a friend of mine soon. And I was going to ask you guys, what's it like working with a friend of yours? Now, if you guys don't know what it's like to work with a friend of yours,
Don't have any friends.
just say that.
Yep. Don't have any friends.
In what context?
So
I mean,
he's
there's
going
gonna
to
be
QA.
ups. There's ups and downs as always. You're gonna have things you like and things you hate. I have things I like. Eric has things he hates.
Oh, I'm very excited, but I don't believe he'll be doing QA on my code. So like that'll make me happy.
Separate friendship from work. Make work stuff. It shouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, I mean, I don't know what you're looking for there. It's no different than anything else.
All right.
I mean, it's like, are you going to be their boss or are they going to be your boss? That's where things
Nah.
get a little weird.
Nah.
Okay, then, yeah.
If you're just coworkers, yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Enjoy working with somebody you know.
I'm at a completely different place on the org chart.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, it might help push you a little bit, because especially depending on how good of a friend they are. I mean, if there's somebody you're like in sync with and somebody you can bounce ideas off of and they understand your workflow and can like, look at your stuff and say, yeah, this is what you're doing wrong. It actually is a little easier coming from a friend than somebody you don't know who you don't want them to know how bad you are. Like your friends, you're like, you surrender
That's
a certain
true.
amount of, how crappy of a coder I am. So can you take a look at this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that does
don't
make
know.
sense. He has metaphorically seen me naked.
There you go. So
Also literally.
One of our core concepts when we first started Diego Dev was the hive mentality, and the idea is that everybody would understand everyone, and everybody would work well together, and it didn't really. I mean, we don't use it to the extent that we had originally envisioned using it. A lot of that comes down to the clients can't embrace it, so like they won't
Sure.
let us implement it correctly.
Well,
But-
and that first slogan that was just, "Oh my God, I'm covered in bees," was not a seller either.
But I mean, my point being, our entire team pretty much are friends. I think they would all consider
That's
each other
true.
friends now, even the ones that didn't know each other before they started working for Diego Dev.
Except
And
Kalen.
I see that. I mean, I honestly see that as a positive driving factor within the company. That said, we've been very fortunate to, not have any bad players or anybody with disciplinary issues that we've had to kind of let go that kind of interrupted the workflow. And I think we've been pretty fortunate with that since Spencer left. I mean, the thing's been going pretty smooth. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've worked in development shops where just that I despised some of the input I was getting from people just because of I didn't respect them, or we didn't see eye to eye, or we had different techniques, and it was this push shove thing. And John eventually came around. I mean, it all worked out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a positive. You should look at it as a positive, Tom.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
And when in doubt, run away.
You know who my friends are? I have a list compiled of my friends. I don't know. Have you seen this? It's a list of all my friends.
I'm not sure I have.
Right here.
Beautiful
Just
graphics.
Nice handy list of all my friends.
That is the wrong list.
Yep.
Well, that's disappointing. Oh, I bet you it's my side too. I bet you my Dropbox didn't sync. God bless it. I am sorry, Revy. Revy is our new Patreon supporter.
How quickly can you get this fixed? We can pretend it didn't happen.
Can we?
Back here.
We can go.
You know
back,
what?
We can go back in time.
Funny story. I don't have any friends. None at all.
I would need to get there through the web interface. I don't know. Let me see if I can get there. I'll try to get there. Just keep talking.
That's not going to work. You know how slow Dropbox is.
Dropbox is slow. Well, that's why I was going through the web interface, but I can't remember what is Tom's PHPUgly OBS. OBS, yeah.
I want to know how a long distance pregnancy happens.
So, I'm sorry, what? What are we talking about?
How long a distance are we talking about? 6, 7 inches?
What happened?
I was thinking more like hundreds of miles.
Well, you got to get FedEx involved, that's for sure.
Jesus. What discussion did I walk into?
A little dry ice. What?
What? What's wrong with you people?
Eric's not tracking the Discord channel where I accused one of his children of being pregnant.
That would not be a problem. Okay, try now, Tom. No, not yet. Let it download. Wait, no, that's not right. Hold on. Keep talking. Wait, what happened?
We're
coming up
doing
next.
Doing it live, folks.
Do you guys use generators?
Yes.
I need help with generators because
I cheat and I mainly use generators in tests. I don't often use them in actual code. I would love to, and I have ideas where I need to. I just haven't made it happen. So API work was the quintessential place where when I watched a talk on it was like, that's where I need to use a generator, but I haven't done it yet.
So Laravel actually has like a built-in thing called a lazy collection, which is a generator-based collection. And like it doesn't have any of the feature set that the normal collection has, but it uses a generator by default for the items that it contains. And you know what, though? Before I get to that, I just remembered I do have some friends I forgot about. Let's see if they've shown up.
Look at that. Yeah. Although it was supposed to be animated. Welcome.
Oh, the welcome part?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Just has to loop a couple times.
Loop it a couple times, yeah. New Patreon supporter.
I like your friends. You've got some good friends.
I love them. They're great.
All right, generators. What were we asking about generators? Thank you, Patreons, by the way.
Well,
what were you?
I mean, I'm immediately being scolded in Discord for not reading PHP Architect Magazine, which has quite a bit about generators. But it's like, when does it come into play is my biggest thing. Is
So what I was talking about in the talk that I watched, especially with API design, you can, instead of asking an API endpoint for 1,000 records or all your records, which could eat up all your memory, it's great with paging. Give me 10, and then the generator will feed them to you and then ask for the next 10 and keep feeding them to you without the outside code knowing that it's making additional calls.
Okay, so that's the hide the behavior use case, right?
Right.
Where it's like it's not necessarily about the memory usage, but about hiding the underlying behavior of your fetch mechanic.
Well, it's both. So being the memory management aspect, you're not getting all those records back and consuming all your memory.
Sure, you're getting the benefit of memory, but I'm looking at places where it's like I'm having memory issues and I just want to resolve the memory issue.
Yeah, anywhere where you're making a call that you don't want to grab everything into memory at once, you can use a generator.
So then why am I not always using generators?
That is a good question. I do not have an answer.
Like, where is that delineating line that says, don't use a generator for this? It's
I don't think there's a line. If you understand them, I think you could just use them. That's part of my problem is I can understand it. Like in my testing, I know I have a data provider that is providing me a bunch of data. So it's very easy to say, provide me, one record at a time or one data set at a time. It's very clean and easy. When it comes to using it in actual code, I sometimes fall down.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like when I get into using them, I kind of understand it, but when I'm actually writing code, I don't think to go there at any point.
Right, and I wonder if that's like I mean, I'm the same way. I'm just wondering if that's like a thing I'm just completely missing that other people do all the time, and I just don't because I'm bad at programming.
I'm going to go with that because I'm bad at programming and I don't go there.
I mean, we kind of universally all accept that we're bad at programming, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's part of the title of the show.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, it is part of our thesis statement. Is that the right words?
Mission statement?
I don't
Mission
know.
Statement? Yeah.
You saw what I consider an outline, so.
Somebody,
I have
speaking
more
of our
generators.
Discord, I don't know, D Gosen, DGOOSENS.
Dmitri Gozen?
Dmitri, that's right, that is Dmitri.
Yeah.
One of our biggest supporters on Twitter, by the way. This guy sent me down
And
the
a friend.
SymfonyCasts rabbit hole. I don't know if it's he or not. They posted in our Discord about a new development with Symfony 6 tutorial on SymfonyCasts. It's really good. It reminds me of the old Laracast days where I was getting excited just watching somebody do a tutorial on how to code something. It's like,
every word they type is like new magic words.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what? You can just do what now? Wait, a bundle? What's a bundle? Wait, what?
I gotta do that.
It's well worth the watch, even if you're not interested in Symfony, which you very well might not be. It's really worth watching because it's just cool.
Do you have
stuff.
a show? Okay, show link this then because I want to do it.
I did. Yeah, it'll be in the show links for sure. I just and SymfonyCast itself, it's I remember when I first heard it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They're playing off the whole Laracast success. Why wouldn't they do this? Like, why wouldn't every framework duplicate that recipe because it just works really well. It's like, hey, here's our framework. Here are all the videos for our framework. But it wasn't like when I had logged in back then and saw it, I'm like, yeah, they have a couple of videos. It was still kind of like, it still seemed very disconnected, and like it was just like like random people were doing videos. I remember thinking this at the time. It's like, it doesn't seem like there's any like flow. Like there wasn't a Laracast. Like here's all the lessons for learning what's new in Symfony, sort of thing. But now it seems like that's changed. Like I'm seeing, like, okay, this is more of what I was looking for. This looks really cool. So I might be spending more time here. I don't know. And I have successfully completed a Symfony Beginners certification. So I think I can say I'm a certified Symfony developer now. Verified certificate of achievement. Just so you know. So
are we switching to a Symfony shop now?
Apparently, I completed this back in 2017. So I've been a Symfony person for quite a while. I've just been not letting people know that. I didn't.
So you knew about SymfonyCasts back in 2017, but forgot about it until now.
But guess so. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Now, John, I know you're not running the latest and greatest version of PHP.
Don't remind me. There's so many things I want to use.
How far behind are you?
7.4.
Oh, you're right there.
I know. We have a team. We have a team dedicated to fixing some of the issues that we have to get to 8.
You really have like you have showstopper issues to get from 7.4 to 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's mine. Okay, well, I know what it is. It's MySQL, isn't it?
No, it's actually not MySQL. No, it's some libraries that we're using that we just can't get updated.
Oh,
I was about to say
that's one of the biggest
ones. It's probably carryover legacy from probably your PHP 4, PHP 5 days.
Right, a lot of that.
Yeah.
But why are you reminding me that I'm not on PHP 8 yet? Close to PHP 8, but not quite there yet.
Because my favorite thing right now is match statements.
Match statements, enums for me. So I'm 8.1 now. It's like enums. I'm loving enums, and I'm going to be using them more and more.
I have access to enums because we've been using them before 8 was available. Not the built-in version.
Yeah, you were using a sort of a mocked version.
The package, yeah.
Was it the
actually
package?
It was one that it was one that we wrote internally.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be that hard to write one, yeah.
The big thing I'm missing is the constructor promotion to like a read-only variable or auto assigning. So right now I have a constructor that takes in like 5-10 different values and then just assigns them to private methods or private properties. I was like, why do I have to do all this boilerplate crap? It should just be done.
You know what I would suggest doing if you're interested in taking some advice from somebody? I would start writing tests around your where the places you're using enums. Start writing tests today, so that when you get there, you can make that conversion and be ahead of the game.
I think all of our enum stuff is already super well tested.
Well, and just to play devil's advocate, you should start deleting tests where you have enums being validated. Because I feel like that's my job here, just to correct Eric. I love match statements, and they are so crazy flexible. So
I haven't used them yet. I want to use them, but I haven't.
Imagine that it just replaces switch, but instead of a construct where switch is a construct that does an evaluation, match is just an else if check over and over and over and over.
But if you're trying to avoid else's, then it's pointless.
Well,
you don't type the
you can
alphas.
you can do some magic stuff with Match. And I saw an article last week I was going to link to, but it was something I already sort of understood and knew it really well. And it was just about object comparisons. But what I didn't realize it can do, I just saw an article this week. So at Krell is writing a sort of a weekly cool match tricks thing. Let me pull this up here.
Hey, sharing the screen. I like it. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. There you go.
I want you
Thank
to
you.
look at this code snippet because it's so cool. So this is a function to check if two people are within the same friend group. So it says match this array of is person 1 in this group and is person 2 in this group. If both elements are true, then allow the connection. If it's a true false, allow it with approval. If it's a false true, allow it with approval. And if it's a false false, deny it because they don't have any connection to each other. So you're comparing an array object to another array and defining the behavior that comes out of it. And this is like, I saw that, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Like you can check multiple layers of permission with a single check. Like with a single statement here.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time I use match, I just return it directly. But there's another use case here where you can have a match that returns a list object or returns an array. So you can have a match that actually generates multiple results from a single statement. And this instance is a little bit harder to use, a little bit harder to understand.
That's hard. Yes, that's hard to follow right there.
But you can do some very, very cool stuff with this. Now, the one thing that I haven't seen covered here is that you can actually say match true. And then you can have your conditions for your match cases be external methods, be a comparison operator. And the first time that it returns true, then it returns a result. So I wrote a match statement today for how long a company has been in business. And it was just match true. And then the conditions were time and date, or it was a carbon object, is time of date established to years difference from now. And if it was less than, then it returned 1 year. If it was less than 1 year, if it was less than 1, it returned less than 1 year. If it was less than or equal to 2, then it said 1 to 2 years. If it was less than 5, it said 2 to 5 years. And if it was 5 or greater, it said 5 years or more. And it's just the sort of the waterfall of behaviors of match are so cool and much faster than switch statements too.
How does the while true?
Is that in your Trello, Tom?
Yes. PHP tricks, multi-value match.
Look at you sharing our Trello board. So nice.
Shut up.
So going back to your match true, and you're calling the carbon comparison, are any of them returning true to the point where it only executes the one match? It doesn't continue on after that, right?
Right. So you have to write it in the order that it's going to be evaluated. So it's similar to a switch statement where it returns as soon as it finds a successful match. So that's why I have to go, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. If I put 5 years in the wrong place and it evaluated to true, then it would return the wrong result, or it wouldn't evaluate the next result. So you do have to track the correct order of operations for it.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But
But you have to do that with an if anyway.
Right. Or you have to just return early, which is what I would do normally. But the nice thing about Match is that as soon as it finds a successful value here, it returns what is on the right of the pointer. So it really, every couple days I see some new usage of the match statement where I'm just like, oh, that is so cool. Like,
again, thanks for rubbing in the fact that I'm not on PHP 8 yet.
Yeah. Imagine using it with enums. Oh, just fantastic.
One day, soon, actively working on it.
That's all I got now. I really like, I never use Switch now. Match is so much better.
I'm going to bring it back to baseball for Eric's sake.
Sounds
Eric,
fair.
I got my kids a pitch back.
You're a good dad.
They absolutely love it.
I loved my pitch back when I was a kid.
So did I.
Yeah.
The net that you throw a ball into and then it just bounces back to you. And you can set it at different angles. So when I first set it up, I had it way too upright, and my kid throws the ball into it, and he's all about throwing hard.
Straight in the groin.
Almost hit him right in the head. He's like, somehow he didn't get hit. And
I should buy myself one of those things. I don't have anybody to play catch with. Nobody in my house likes to play catch.
Yeah. It's been an absolute hit so far. So good stuff. Everyone, let's really hope for low winds tomorrow so I can go fly. And then on that note, we can end the show.
No, I've got high winds tomorrow. I'm melting right here. I can't wait till Sunday when it rains and snows. It's over
really?
80 yeah, it's over 80 degrees in my house right now. It's going to snow on Sunday. It's bizarre. I mean, this is the effect. I've told you before. This is the effect of the mountain right there, where it cuts off all weather until the weather builds up enough to flow over, and then it's a siphon effect, and you just get a massive cold front pours over the whole city.
That happened right after we left New York. We were up there. We saw some snow flurries, but nothing sticking on the ground. And then as soon as we leave, my mom writes me and says, "Oh, we had 5 inches of snow." I'm like, oh, kids would have loved that.
They've never seen snow.
Well, of course they have. We go to the Big Bear. The joy of being in San Diego. A couple hours away, you're good to go.
I suppose. I never did.
You never left your house.
Shut up.
All right, that's it.
1 hour away.
Episode, 283 is in the books. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all
That's
know
right. We don't need John.
Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a
Don't-
shout out to
don't
the
put him
host
there.
named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having